Here's the aftermath. Well, this is kind of overtime I like. Hey, it's Carl, and tonight's another late night unpacking session. I just got 4 boxes of fish in from overseas, and there's a pretty good selection of different stuff. So I won't bore you with the common, ordinary, everyday stuff. And the cold water stuff we had to get in the tank already. It needed to get in the tank. So earlier Karen put away the koi and the fantail goldfish, and they're really nice. They've got a really great batch of koi, and the fantails are nice too, but the koi are exceptional. They're really, really good looking fish. But I'm just going to go over some of the highlights of the order. So I'm going to start out with something completely new to me. I've never had these in the store, and this is Para Osphrominus Gunawani is how you say that, and they're from Sumatra. I know it's really hard to tell what they're going to look like in the bag, so what I'll do is I'll do some B-rolls of these fish once I get them in the tanks, and then tomorrow when they're settled in and are looking a little better, I'll do some B-roll of these fish. But these guys don't get real big, like 2.5 centimeters, something like that, from swampy areas there, so still water, like it nice and warm. Really unique kind of horizontal bars and nice fins, kind of like a compact type of gourami, and don't get too big, not too aggressive. Really, really like these guys. So anyone who's been in this hobby for a while knows that as the years go by, your interests kind of change and different types of fish kind of capture your interest. And I've been through cichlid phases and barbs and minnows and all that kind of stuff. Right now I'm back into guppies and endlers. I'm really into the live bears like that. Love corridoras, right into corries, and I really like shrimp too. So these are kind of my interest points right now. I'm kind of getting more and more into microfish, and you'll see that tonight with this order. I've got a bunch of little stuff that came in, which I'm going to use for my other interest, which is aquascaping. I'm kind of getting into that whole aquascaping, building the small nano aquascapes and the fish that are appropriate for it. So one fish I got tonight, they're supposed to be pintail endlers, golden pintail endlers. And one thing with these overseas orders is just because they're named something doesn't mean that's what you're actually going to get. So these are supposed to be pintail endlers. I actually don't see any with the actual pintails. They are very pretty. They are a golden yellow endler, but they're not pintails at all. Some of them actually have lyre tails, but really pretty anyways. Really like these guys. I just like these small live bears. It's fun to see them reproducing, having all kinds of babies. It's fun to see the different colors that you get out of them. And yeah, just a great fish, great starter fish, and then really good for these smaller tanks that are so popular nowadays. Like I said, I was getting into some of these microfish, some of these little nano fish for the small aquariums, for the small aquascapes, and one of my favorites is Auroras Brigitte. They're called mosquito rasboras or chili rasboras. Really pretty little fish, kind of get like a bright red color. They school together nice and tight. They don't get very big at all. And they're kind of like a dark bar in the middle of them, and just the way they move and their nice little sharp fins, they just look really, really good in an aquarium. Especially, again, these small nano aquascapes. You know, you only have a couple gallons, you can't put a lot of big fish in there. A little school of these guys really adds some life to those tanks. Just brings them to life, gives them a little splash of color moving around. Really one of my favorites. Here's another one of those little nano fish that I've had before. It's probably a couple years ago now that I've had them, and I love them. They're actually beautiful little fish. Not very often available, so I don't get them very often, but they used to be classified as a Rasbora, but now I see the Latin name is Danio erythromicron. They were always a erythromicron, but I think they used to be a Boraras or a Rasbora of some type, but now they have them listed as a Danio. But yeah, really, really pretty little fish. They call them the Emerald Dwarf Rasbora because they do get kind of a greeny tinge to them, nice little vertical bars on them. They are a little bit shy, but if you have enough of them, they do kind of school together. Again, great for those little aquascapes, those smaller planted aquariums. Yeah, it's just been a long time since I've had these, so I'm kind of excited to get them in a tank and get to observe them again and watch them, and I suppose I'll have to sell some at some point too. Another fish that I don't get real often, but I really enjoy them when I do get them, is a type of barb. It's Desmopuntius rhombocella. Rhombo barbs, basically. Also known as ocellated barbs, but really nice barbs. They're not aggressive like tigers or anything like that. They do well in planted tanks. You do want a little school of them for sure to get maximum color and to make them look their best, but yeah. But yeah, really, really like these barbs, and again, not something that ships often, so we're pretty happy to get them. Sticking with the small fish theme tonight, Saba resplendens. This is one I have not had in a very long time. So they don't look like much in a bag, but they really do end up looking quite nice. This is called the Asian rummy nose. These are beautiful little fish, especially the males with their kind of a steel blue color with the red nose and red tips, and just really, really pretty fish. They school up nice. They, again, do very well in your planted aquascapes. Not a fish that ships very often. Again, I'm kind of lucky. This order's been really good. A lot of the oddball stuff that I ordered that usually doesn't show up really has showed up this time, and this is one of them. I'm really excited to get these into a planted tank and let them show off and show off their color. They're a little small, so they may not show off for a bit. I do see one in the bag with a bright red nose, so I think once I get them in a tank and they can settle in for a bit, they're gonna look awesome. Well, another live bearer from the order. This is the Hifin Variatus, and Variatus is a very pretty fish. You don't see them often in stores. You see lots of swordtails and platies and all that, but and they're the same family, but the Variatus you don't see very often, and there's actually lots of different color varieties of Variatus. This is the Rainbow Variatus, and the nice thing about these guys is they can handle cooler water, so right down to like low 60s Fahrenheit and up to your normal tropical temperatures, they're quite happy. And this is the Hifin rainbow variety. They have the nice tall high fins, bright blue colors, and some red patch on their tail. Really, really like these guys. Again, peaceful, don't get huge, nice live bearer, so you get some babies once in a while scooting around your tank. Just an interesting live bearer that's underappreciated in my opinion. These aren't super rare or anything, but it's just kind of nice to see a whole bag of wiggling Coolie Loaches. Look at these guys zipping around in there. These guys are so busy. If you see them in your tank, they are very busy. Most of the time they're hiding, and it's hard to know if you even have any left, but look at all these guys. I better get them in a tank. I'll do another cool water species here while I'm at it. These are neon Rory Barbs. You can really see the males with their pink colors. The females are still a pretty gold color, and these are the neon variety, so they have like an extra metallic kind of look to them. Really pretty fish, and when you pair them up, the males are always showing off to the girls and keeping their nice bright pink color, and they're so hardy and they can handle the cooler temperatures. These are just a great barb, especially for beginners and for room temperature tanks. These are awesome fish to start with. So that's just a couple of the highlights from this order. There's a lot of fish in these boxes and I need to get them in the tank. So I'm gonna get them put away. I'm gonna let them settle in for a day or maybe 2 days even, let them kind of settle in, start to color up and get used to their new surroundings. And then I'll show you some of the other fish that came in the order as well. Another notable from this order was electric blue rams. We also received a really nice batch of gold rams. Again, nice peaceful little cichlids, do well in community tanks. And some ember tetras. These are a pretty overlooked little tetra, kind of new in the hobby. I haven't seen them around a lot yet, but I really, really like them. They show off really nice in some planted aquariums. Oh, there's a little emerald rasbora as well, or emerald banyo, I should say. But ember tetras, really do like these guys. Well, I hope that was fun for you. I really enjoy getting these orders in from overseas, and I always try and order something kind of unique and different that I haven't had or haven't had for a very long time at least, and so it keeps it interesting for me. Hope it was interesting for you. I just wanted to highlight some of the unique things that came in. We got lots of the usuals, the neon tetras and platies and guppies, all that kind of stuff. But I really enjoy getting some new and different species in and just to keep it interesting. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you subscribe, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.